Let's talk some box office, Johnny.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Box office.
Hello.
How to Train Your Dragon comes in the #1 spot again. Pushing it to 37 million.
Wow.
And it has 358 million so far. 28 years later, divisive to say the least.
Yeah.
$60 million worldwide on what, like an $80 million budget.
Yeah.
Elio, though, is the story, I think, of the week. Eats a big pile of duty. At 35 million worldwide, only 21 million. Probably says a lot about original animation at the moment, unfortunately. Lilo and Stitch, this is the one. 910 million so far. Another 9.7 this weekend. Mission Impossible rounding it out 6.6 with a total of 540. Still not going to make the money it needs to, but it's still making money so far. John, out of those stories, out of those movies, what stands out and why?
Well, the Elio one I think is very sad because it was reviewed so well.
That's cute.
And it's a very cute movie. Yeah, it's not as great of a Pixar offering, and that's where I think at times these Pixar films get bit in the ass because you can't just come out with a middling Pixar film or a kind of good Pixar film because everyone goes, it's not Toy Story, fuck it, and get really mad about it, or they get these disingenuous takes. Like I can't remember who it was. Someone was going like, it's called the Communiverse. They're not even trying to hide communism, Disney. It's like, are you on planet Earth? Like, what is wrong with you? Yeah. It's community. So it's tough to defeat when you've got nonsense like that rolling around. And I just don't think the marketing for this was really strong. Just like Elemental, the marketing wasn't strong. But I think it's much more nuanced, isn't it, Kristian? Much more complicated. People are like, oh, see, you don't want original films. That's not it. It's more a matter of how you're pitching these, how you're marketing these things. Elio had a number of stops and starts, and then
it also got too much competition
right now
against IP. Like you look at the family movies and the kids movies that are out there right now.
Lilo and How to Train Your Dragon, man.
Minecraft is still out there somewhere, still making money. It wasn't in the top 5, but it's still making money, right? And then you've got Lilo and Stitch, obviously, and then How to Train Your Dragon. That's the stuff right now because it's attached to IP. People know what it is. Let's go see that. And the movie it's a cute little movie, but it doesn't have that same magic that like an Inside Out does. That's original because Inside Out was original and it crushed.
Yeah.
And it's just, I give a little bit more leeway to Elemental because of the time it came out, and it was still like right off of COVID and all that stuff too. And it was harder. But it was this movie, it just, like you said, marketing was not very good.
Yeah.
It's a sweet movie, and I think it's a movie, and I said as much when I saw it. I think it's going to be a movie that, hey, what do you guys want to watch tonight? Let's get the kids, let's get the family, let's watch it. And they watched the movie in front of them. Oh, it was a cute little thing. All right, what's on next? What do you do?
Yeah.
It's not a movie that stays with you. It's just not.
It's lightweight.
Yeah.
And it's fun. And look, I'm not saying Lilo and Stitch, we're not saying Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Your Dragon have these really heavy messages.
Oh, no, they have a built-in IP.
Yeah, exactly. That's the key there. Yeah.
And especially that unfortunate, whether you like it or not, that's the way that this business, the theater business, works right now. And that's why. And I always said, well, why they need more original stuff? There's always original stuff. There's original stuff every other day. Now, there's two different arguments. Now, why aren't they putting a lot of money into like tons of money and big budgets into original? Elio is your answer. Why? That's your answer. Why?
Yeah,
that's why they don't put the money into it. But they're building out. There's always new original ideas, and they pop up on streaming. I just had the guys on last week that did like a $300,000 film that's on Amazon. It's on everything else too. There's original stuff that's on all of the time.
Yeah,
you got to find it because you're not going to find it through the big marketing through the studios and stuff because of results like this.
Yeah,
you're not going to see it. If you're not going to see it for the amount of money they're spending on it, they're not going to make them at that budget.
Yeah.
So it does, and I think I said as much in my out of the theater. I said this movie's it's not gonna make money.
Yeah,
it's just not. It's not one of those movies you're like, holy shit, this is such a special movie. Everybody needs to see this. Get the families out there. Don't worry about the repeat viewing of How to Train Your Dragon. This is the one to see. That's the kind of reviews they needed. They didn't get those. I love True Classic. That's how I'm gonna start this. I have fallen in love with them. I have so many new things, whether it comes to t-shirts, whether it is sweatpants, things I go to the gym for. I love it. I absolutely love them. At True Classic, the mission goes beyond fit and fabric. It's about helping guys show up with confidence and purpose. The gear fits right, it feels amazing, and it's priced so guys everywhere can step into confidence without stepping out of their budget. What really sets them apart, it's not just about the fit or the fabric, it's the intention behind everything that they do. True Classic was built to make an impact, whether it's helping men show up better in their daily lives, giving back to undeserved communities, or making people laugh with ads that don't take themselves too serious. They lead with purpose. So I have been loving True Classic. I got them. I've got a bunch of things that, well, again, like I said, shirts, pants, and I told my wife the other day, I said, I don't know if I want to go anywhere else right now. True Classic. I mean, I'm telling you, I went out to go out with some friends. I was wearing this is True Classic t-shirt. They fit really nice. They just they're comfortable. It's good material. I love it. And you don't have to worry about it. Just get rid of the overpriced designer brands. Ditch the disposable fast fashion. True Classic is built for comfort. It's built to last, and it's built to give back. You can grab them anywhere. Target, Costco. You can head to trueclassic.com/Christian. That's where you really should go, and get hooked up today. You will love it. I have been swearing by it. I'm telling you, this is me telling you straight up. I love this brand. I love True Classic.
Yeah, but I think even if they did, because the reviews have have been, it's 80 to 90%, I think, on Rotten
Sweet
Tomatoes.
movie.
It's good. Yeah, but like there's just not that the push or the uniqueness of the film, as you said. I think, yeah, just to underline your point, like if these reviews had come out and be like, this is game changing and you're going to cry, you're going to really be devastated by this movie, I think that would have had much more of an effect, as you were saying. And unfortunately, this is just, it got caught up in the grind of the timing of when it was released. And unfortunately, it wasn't a film that's like just this massive thing that you have to go see. And so Pixar takes it on the chin for this. And it's a shame because I think there's people who are going to use it to use the results here to push their narratives. And I think Pixar has been delivering some really great stuff over the last few years, but so many people just want to ding it because it's a new punching bag for them to go after. And I think it's unfair because there's a lot of really great stuff that comes out there. And that recent baseball series or softball series was so good. That was so sweet. So good.
The quality hasn't gone down on what they're making. It's just a matter of like, you can't put it is a matter of, again, John, just how are you spending your money? You got to pay attention to what
you're 100% right. Yeah. And the other part of it too is Kristian, remember like the idea of Pixar doing a sequel was so novel. Like it was so unique. Now it's like what their lifeblood is doing.
It's a necessity. Yeah. They have to do it.
Frozen. Toy Story 5. Yeah.
So, and keeping on this, because we're going to get to 28 years later, it takes in 60 million worldwide. Elio earns Pixar's worst debut ever.
Yeah.
So, Alex, this is again from Mark Cassidy, comic book movie. Alex Garland, Danny Boyle's 28 years later, now in theaters, and the long-awaited sequel is off to a pretty good start. According to the latest updates, the movie took in 30 million overseas, 60 million overall. Not bad result for an R-rated horror film with a reported budget of 75 million, but it will be interesting to see how the movie continues to perform. Reviews were excellent, but general audiences haven't embraced it. And Elio, going back to it, things are not looking good for the animated film. What went wrong here? We just kind of broke that down as far as what we thought, but let's talk about 28 years later.
Yeah, I'll bust out my spoiler review later today. Yeah,
okay, because I saw Snyder and his brothers review and they hated it. They hated it.
I know, he told me on the show.
I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And but I understand why it is getting the split reaction from fans. It is a very, very it's a very stylistic movie.
Yeah,
it takes big swings overall. It gets really bizarre and crazy at times. Like it's a batshit crazy. It's a batshit movie. Yeah, it really is. And I think I needed that. I think I was looking for that, and I like the idea of how it does not look like an $80 million movie at all.
No.
It looks like a $20 million movie. And that's a compliment, by the way. Right. That's a compliment. And I liked the performances in it. I liked how nutty it got. I like how the world was set up. I haven't heard your thoughts on it though. So what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was equal parts disappointing and equal parts exciting.
Okay.
And that's where I came to when I, did my review, which will be out later. I just like I didn't like the kid that much.
Oh, I
So
love
it
it.
kept me from
Wow.
connecting to the things he was going through. There,
Wow.
I felt a bit of a distance or aloofness, or a bit of put upon. I'm feeling these emotions because I'm supposed to feel these emotions. And so for me, I couldn't invest in what was going on with him and his dad and what was going on with him and his mom. Like it just felt a little hollow for me. And that's all subjective, right? Because for some people, like Jeff said, Alfie really stood out to him. And as I think you're just saying now, you liked the kid. And well, that affected me enjoying the movie overall. But I liked the performances of Aaron Taylor Johnson. I liked Jodie Gomer. I really liked Ray Fiennes. I do not share Jeff's opinion about that character. I liked that character a lot and what he was doing. And there was a poetry within the madness of him that I thought was great to see in the movie. And I thought what happened with Jodie Comer's character and what she goes through. I thought there was something really beautiful in that. And then the end, I understood the ending because I'm an Anglophile. And so I knew exactly who they were emulating when they popped up on screen, but it was no less shocking when you see that finale and you're like, oh, they're going in this direction. This is going to be so evil and dirty. Because if you haven't seen the documentary on the guy they're emulating, it's on Netflix. It is such an uncomfortable watch. It is so hard to watch that. So they're going even darker in the second installment.
Yeah, I will say though,
Yeah.
and this isn't like I haven't liked a lot of the. I didn't see Candyman, so I don't know. The Nia DaCosta, I got to judge it off the Marvels. I did not like the Marvels,
Right.
but it has nothing to do with her. I just think there are certain like what I will say, and I think you will agree with this because even though you said it was mixed up, Danny Boyle is as much of a star of this film than anybody else.
100%.
And
100%.
you need that in this movie, at least for me. And I think that's what the second one was missing.
Yes.
And the first one, like it's his style, and you feel him present without it overtaking the movie.
Yeah.
I think that the style of this movie actually helps the substance of the movie, and it makes it a substance in the movie. And I don't know if that will happen in the next one. I want to be proven wrong, but I feel like the movie needs Danny Boyle, and especially look at the conversation that this one is putting in. It's $60 million. I mean, I think on the next, it made 30. I think it'll do another 10 next week. What do you think it'll make?
Yeah, we'll
10
see.
domestically. 10 domestically.
I went to go see it in the theater on Saturday, and there was 10 people in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that does not bode well. And I didn't even go to the IMAX screening, which is, of course, the more expensive one. I went to a regular screening, which I like to do sometimes just to gauge where a film is at. And so for me, I just don't think it's resonating with people for whatever reason that may be. And I think spending 80 was not a wise decision, clearly, because it looks like we might struggle to turn a profit. And this could affect whether we get the third film, Kristian, because as you said, if the second one comes out, just like the second one came out, the second one in this trilogy that they're making within the franchise comes out and it's not received well or doesn't do well, then that third film becomes like, is this going streaming? Like,
look at that Kevin Costner Western.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's that thing? Do you think having, and this might turn out to be
10 is fair, but it might be less. But yeah,
this might turn out to be brilliant strategy here. Do you think by saving Cillian Murphy and having him come back in the next one, that'll help the box office?
Yes, I think it will. But I think now they're thinking, well, maybe we need to put him in the second one. If the box, because they're still shooting, I think, the second one. So if the box office isn't doing that strongly right now and they're sensing that it might not break even or make a profit, then you might want to add a few scenes with Cillian and then maybe use him as part of the promotion to lead us into the front. And I think he was going to appear in the second one at some point, but maybe they want to pump that up a little bit more so that they lead into the third one and people are a little more excited about it. Because that's another element I think that's missing here, Kristian, is that the Danny Boyle thing is important, but so is the Cillian Murphy thing. That is really important because Robert Carlyle was fine for the second movie, but he's not Cillian.
Right.
And I like Robert as an actor. He's really good, but he's not Cillian. And Cillian is important for the success. Him and Danny Boyle is the magic combo for this particular franchise. And so that may have been another reason too. And I think if you're thinking of Aaron Taylor Johnson or James Bond, you might want to bury those. You might want to
Really?
put them to bed. Oh yeah, I mean, you look at how Craven crashed and burned, and you look at how this one is struggling to make a profit. It's Aaron Taylor Johnson who's the lead of both of these movies, and so
I don't think that affects him. I
you
really
don't really.
Nah,
Okay.
nah. I don't think, because I don't think you can look at, first of all, this movie already has made $60 million upside. If you're saying in general, if it turns out that it makes its budget back or loses money,
Right.
they're going to go, oh, Aaron Taylor Johnson is not a draw.
He's not a draw.
No one marketed this movie off of Aaron Taylor Johnson. They said that he was in it. They put it, but it wasn't the strong. Well, this is an Aaron Taylor Johnson led. It was led with Danny Boyle. It was led on the backstory.
Well, right, that's fair.
Right.
But he is like the notable name.
Yeah,
and more than Jodie Comer, because I know Jodie Killing Eve and all of that, but
I don't disagree with that.
Bike Riders didn't make a lot of money, neither did all these other films that she's done.
Sure, but this is the benefit, and we talk about this all of the time. We have said this time and time again.
Yeah,
that the movie star doesn't really exist as far as putting asses in the seats.
Oh, not even Tom anymore after that.
No, we've said this many times. Yeah. We've said this many times over.
Sure.
The studios are as aware of that as we are. It's about IP. And what I always use, the same example I will use again to defend Aaron Taylor Johnson, is Ryan Gosling. Ryan Gosling has tons and tons of non-hits that he was great in. And I use even a really good movie in Fall Guy, which I enjoyed, an entertaining movie that was too expensive, based off an IP nobody gave a crap about, had Emily Blunt in it also, right?
Yeah.
They didn't say, yo, no, you know what? That's Ryan Gosling's fault. He can't draw. We don't want him in Star Wars. They put him in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And so I think it's the question's going to be, James Bond's going to sell the movie. It's not going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson or whoever. Like, oh, great. That's a great actor to do it. It's like, do people care about James Bond still? And the answer is yes, they do. James Bond, I think Aaron Taylor Johnson will be cast as James Bond.
You do. You really do.
I do. Yeah.
So here's my counter to what you said.
Okay.
And I totally respect where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You said earlier, we don't have enough game tape on James Gunn. We do on Kathleen Kennedy.
Right.
Well, we see a lot of success in Ryan Gosling's career where he's been the lead or he's been a big part of a movie, right? Crazy Stupid Love is one of the most kind of iconic ones for him. Like there's a lot of good films that should not have made the money it made, and Ryan Gosling rode it to a profit. There's nothing like that in Aaron Taylor Johnson's resume. Even Kick-Ass, most people think of Chloe Grace Moretz or Nicolas Cage in the first movie before they think of Aaron Taylor Johnson. So when we look at the game tape of Aaron Taylor, where there's not as much success, and now that doesn't mean he's not an incredible actor.
He was also in Fall Guy, but he was also in Fall Guy.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, Nosferatu is not his movie. That's Nicholas Hoult, right? And Lily Collins, I think it is. Bullet Train. That's a Brad Pitt movie. The King's Man, that was Ray Fiennes, didn't do that well. Tenet even is not his movie, right? That was John David Washington. So there's quite a few, and the smaller stuff, sure, like Nocturnal Animals, even Godzilla. Those are well-received films, but Godzilla is the sell. So you're not seeing anything aside from the Kick-Ass movie, and the second wasn't even that good, where Aaron Taylor Johnson is the focus. So that's what I look at when I look at this here. He's had chances to lead now this late in his career, and it is not happening for him box office wise. So maybe they don't look at the superstars or movie stars anymore. I agree with you on that, but they do look at who's hot, who the public is responding to, I think, a little bit. And I wonder if maybe this is going to affect him. Whereas Daniel Craig wasn't known, but he wasn't leading films, So
no, he was in some. He was Layer Cake and other things, but smaller stuff.
Right, or smaller stuff. Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan was leading stuff and it wasn't really popping. A lot of these Bond guys weren't leading stuff and weren't like huge stars when it was made. But that's the big question, right? Is how, because the one thing I will say though, to counter what you just said, was that he is not well received as far as you could say if you're the business guy, which you wouldn't really, if somebody sat down and said, okay, look, Aaron Taylor Johnson, look at his past movies and look at his receipts and look at what has happened here. They're not paying to go see him. To which I would say, yeah, but let's look at some reviews. What do they say? Movie's not great. Aaron Taylor Johnson is spectacular.
That's true. That's fair. Totally fair.
Every time you hear any movie he's in, the movie itself, it didn't do that great. He's great in it. You just said it before. with 28 years later. You said yeah, something about Aaron Taylor Johnson.
He's
Great.
good in the movie. Yeah.
He's good in the movie.
Right.
So that would be my argument is, what are we trying to do? James Bond's going to get people in the theater. Do we want a guy that's going to pull it off? That's the guy that pulls it off.
Well, would you hand Jodie Comer Wonder Woman?
I don't think she's right for the role. Not because of acting.
Okay, Captain Marvel. Would you hand her Captain Marvel?
Also tough. That one's tougher. Well, I mean, you're saying before Brie Larson?
No. Yeah, I'm saying if Jodie Comer, if you could cast her as the lead in a superhero film, would you do it right now? One of the notable superhero films, because she's gotten great reviews in everything that she's done.
Look, she was almost going to be in Star Wars and everything too. That's a loaded question for comic book movies, right? If you're telling me the same kind of career that she had, and then we're in 2018 when that movie comes out, yeah, I'd put her in there. I'd put her in there for sure, because again, it was Marvel that was selling it, and it's like, okay, it's Marvel, here's the movie, it's Ms. Marvel, and this is our lead actress, and people go, well, okay, we got to see. Brie Larson's not the one that got people into the theater.
It was Oscar. She was an Oscar-winning actress when she took.
People were excited that she was cast in it, but she's not the only reason they went to see it. They went to see it because it was the next movie after Infinity War.
Exactly, it was that one in between. Yes.
So I feel like Jodie Comer could have done that leading into and held the movie? Yeah, of course. She's a great actress. But no. As far as Wonder Woman, no. You know my choice for Wonder Woman.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
But like, you look at her. Well, here, look at her. Right. So Adria Arjona.
That could be an interesting situation. But she's also coming out of a hot show in
right. That's Morbius was the farts though, and she's been in some stinkers, but she's been same thing. Movies crap. She's great.
Yeah.
I think as long as you can do, like, I just don't think Aaron Taylor Johnson has enough lead films, that have not done well.
Okay.
What movie has he led besides Craven?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that have done well. I mean,
what movie has he led?
Well, he led this, whether you like it or not. He led 28 years later.
This movie. The kid was the lead in this movie. He is not the lead of this movie. He's not even in the second half of the film.
Well, he is. He comes when the kid comes back. He comes running after him. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
The movie is the kid. The kid, it's his movie.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
Big role, but not his movie. And again, Daniel Boyle. Anyway, great conversation. I dig it. You guys, what are your thoughts? Put your thoughts in there about everything we just discussed, whether it's Aaron Taylor Johnson as Bond, whether it's the box office in general. What do you say?